Hello, good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. It is 4 p.m. on October the 19th, 2023. Welcome to the San Bernardino Community College District Board of Trustees meeting. All right, with that, we are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So could I have student trustee Martinez, oh, no, I said it backwards. Ruiz Martinez lead us in the pledge.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to a republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. My computer is updating, which I was hoping would happen right now. So with that, we're going to move on. So pursuant to Board Policy 2350, any person may speak to the Board of Trustees either on an agenda item or or on other matters of interest to the public that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board and before any board action is taken. Comments must be limited to 3 minutes per speaker and 20 minutes on the same issue or substantially similar subject, unless a majority of the board votes to extend the time limit. As a matter of policy, members of the board may not discuss or respond to matters raised during public comment unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion or action in open session. If you have questions about access or if you require accommodation to participate in the public meeting, please contact the Chancellor's office at 909-388-6902 as far in advance of the board meeting as possible. So with that, do we have any public comments?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So we have, and it looks like in terms of numbers, we should be good on our time limits and all of that. So I'm going to start then with Amy Avalar.
As a former student who is now going to earn her bachelor's, I am so happy. Oh my goodness. Okay. Shout out. Okay, so good afternoon, Board of Trustees. I first want to thank you for reaching a TA regarding our part-time benefits. Faculty work to create better educational environments tailored to our community of students. Faculty develop and continue to modify local case studies, enhance lab experiences, outdoor labs with biology gardens, multiple ways to check for learning, including interactive videos, worksheets, solution keys, and most importantly for our community, building community and trust. All of these efforts take so much time. And on one hand, we love this work, strategizing how to deliver the content and ensuring learning. But on the other hand, it is very common for us to work 7 days a week, with maybe taking 1 day off a month. We are literally exhausted. It has saddened me to read that some members of our leadership and Board of Trustees speak of us as greedy science professors that want to get paid more than everyone. We don't know what we are talking about, that we have never brought these issues to you. I would like to clear up these matters. Regarding pay, anyone currently teaching labs and clinicals get paid less. We are asking for parity. What we are talking about, our district historically has exploited our love and care for our students. We are constantly being asked to go above and beyond, being given a pat on the back, but we are burning out, and we don't get any care or love from our district. What we are saying is to treat us fairly, to pay us for our work, and to truly support our DEIAA actions and efforts. This has been our message for a long time. When I heard the comments that were made about the faculty, when I read them, and I was working on a workbook/textbook for our Chemistry 150 classes, and I'm still working on it, and I'm not going to stop despite those comments. This will allow chemistry course for Chemistry 101. I included this message in an email to all of the Board of Trustees. You have received, I hope, that email. I forwarded to you the string of emails going back and forth between myself, the bookstore manager, and a book rep about how our students in chemistry were not getting their textbook. And I only sent you 101. we had the same issues in 150 and in OChem. Our students were given the bright classes for chemistry, 2 weeks, and it was the wrong code. The code was supposed to allow the students to select the book being sent to their homes, the physical book, because we've always requested the physical book. It's science. It can't be toggling back and forth on a computer.
Your turn is complete.
I just hope that the Board of Trustees, please understand that we are working very hard and all these things are connected.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up is Gerarda Costello. Gerarda?
Good afternoon. I teach history at Crafton Hills College, and I want to ask you, do you believe in equity? Do you believe in equity? Do you believe in equity? If you do, don't you think that a commensurate pay raise, or thank God I don't need hospital benefits, but other people do? Don't you think that's appropriate? Do you have grandchildren or children in the community college districts? Do you trust adjunct faculty on campus? You're going to let your children be with them? Then why don't you pay them the way that they should be? So we talk about equity, we talk about diversity, we talk about equality. Now, if you fired every adjunct and you had to hire all full-time people to run your schools, that would cost you 10 times more money. 10 times more money. So I'm very curious about your position on equity. How do you feel about it? Do you believe in it? It's for you to think about, isn't it? For you to discuss. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Next up,
Madam Chair, may
Trustee Longo.
I ask if you could remind the people who are coming up here to speak that state law prohibits any member of the Board of Trustees sitting here from responding to your comments. So you can come up and ask questions, but we can't answer them. I just wanted to, people may not understand that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
As a matter of policy, the members of the board may not discuss or respond to matters raised during public comment. So next up is Jesse Lemieux.
Good afternoon, Board of Trustees. I really want to thank you for your recent action regarding part-time healthcare part-timers. Significant increase of part-time wages in our district. As faculty chair of the chemistry department, I have found it increasingly difficult to find faculty to staff classes as their wages lag 14% behind the median wages of our 7 comparison districts and 48% behind those of our neighboring Riverside district. In addition, over the last year in our chemistry department, lectures have been stacked such that 2 sections must be taught for the same pay as 1. A shocked newly returning part-time faculty member asked me, "I know I'm teaching sections 74 and 75, but are you saying that I'll only be paid for 1 section?" I regrettably had to answer yes. Fortunately, he maintained his commitment to us this semester, but is considering other options for later semesters. Thank you for your time and your support of a 14% increase in part-time faculty wages.
Okay, next up, we have Tara Walker. Tara Walker, you're next.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Board of Trustees, my name is Tara Walker. I am now a sophomore this year at San Bernardino Valley College softball. I was also on last year's second league all team along with Aubrey Slider and Hannah Gilfus. I stand before you here today as a proud member of San Bernardino Community College softball team, representing our concerns and challenges. As student athletes from last year's team, we believe it is vital to share our experiences and voice our concerns about several issues. I was actually told by our faculty not to come to the board to express our concerns. Our goal is to foster improvement not only for our team, but for the entire athletic department and our beloved institution. First and foremost, I would like to talk about our softball field and how we don't have one and we're struggling. Our softball team is concerned about the lack of updates regarding our softball field. As one of the people who was told we were going to have a softball field last year, it was very disappointing and challenging for our team and everything we've gone through. It also doesn't help we are not seeing progress and getting updates when we were specifically told that we would get regular updates on our field. Along with our team, we have the worst practice times out of all the teams possible. It's really hard for us to focus on our schoolwork, and we are always told to have better time management. As student athletes with jobs, we have probably the best time management. And yet we struggle with practice in school because we do not have a field to practice on for a decent time for us. Additionally, we have faced challenges with storage and maintenance for our equipment. Sharing the shed with our football team has been terrible. We see our stuff missing, and then our equipment is damaged, and that's not cheap. We have to pay for that to fix it. As student athletes, we strongly urge a separation from the football team just for our equipment. That's all we ask for because we can't afford all of our equipment. In the fall, we've also faced increased burdens because the school does not provide transportation for student athletes, being students first. And this being said, we do not have a steady income that is available to pay for our gas and food, especially for our scrimmages, and our scrimmages are not close either. We kindly request a reconsideration of the transportation policy during the fall season to elevate these financial and logistical burdens. Looking ahead to the spring season, it's disheartening to know that we only have 5 home games due to us not having a softball field. The lack of communication regarding the completion of the softball field has made it challenging and are limited to just 4 buses per year. Our coaches have to drive us in a van, and this is really concerning considering they have to wake up earlier than all of us, and we have to wake up really early. So for them to have to struggle to get us to the field is really concerning. We believe that with the school's investment into a softball program, we will thrive as a team and you will see us succeed. We are a very successful team, but we get no love from any of our faculty. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Alicia Lara? Alicia Lara?
Okay, hi. My name is Elisa Lara. I am a full-time student at San Bernardino Valley College Plus program, and it has continued since then. I wanted to talk about how it is important that we keep that program still going. As a student, I go to school every day. I am in charge of like supplies and everything that I need. But the Book Plus program has been allowed me to have access to books, materials for labs, and stuff that I wouldn't actually be able to afford on my own. My sister and I and my mother, we carpool every day. We don't have a lot of money to spare. The school has provided books for us and everything. That Book Plus program has given us the chance to actually, given me the chance to actually go to school full time. I know that books tend to be very expensive, around like $90 to $100. And knowing that, I probably wouldn't actually have access to any of them if this program was taken away. I do also feel, well, I just want to, sorry, but that's honestly it. I really feel like this program is important to the school and to students. I think it gives accessibility to people that don't often have it, and books are having access to these books is what helps keep a lot of the students in school. So I wanted to thank you for listening to me, and that was everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Ella Lara.
Hello, board. My name is Ella. Like my brother, I am also a student at San Bernardino Valley College. Firstly, this Book Plus program is so important to me. It has financially liberated me in the sense that I don't have to worry about paying for textbooks, and it's motivated me to continue my educational success. I feel like the school supports me and believes in me, and I feel like I deserve this education to help our community. I also wanted to talk about how if you guys don't continue this program, I'm gonna go back to having to think to myself, okay, is my next paycheck gonna be enough to pay for my books? Because FAFSA hasn't come yet, it hasn't hit. So I have the option, food or textbooks. Gas or textbooks. It shouldn't have to be this way. So, imagine having to think this way every single semester, right? I know you guys have been in this place before, so please, with this in mind, keep this program for us. We need it. I believe in higher education. This is part of that, correct? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. So the answer for you is to continue this program. Please do not remove it. We are a minority. I'm part of the minority, and this system has failed us. Please help us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Roberta Fuentes.
Okay. Ready. Hello, everyone. As you heard, I am a mom of two. Two of my kids go to San Bernardino Valley College. I was a former student myself. And just thinking about, just knowing that the Book Plus program is going to be taken away, I just can't imagine it. It's heartbreaking because I myself didn't have help, buying books. When I was going to school, I had to make a decision because I had a toddler. I had to make a decision between formula and a book. And sometimes I only had like $20 in my pocket, and I had to use that $20 to basically go copy books from the library just to try to keep caught up. So I just can't imagine, what these kids, all of the students, if you guys take away that program. So please, Mr. Reyes, I know you were a student advisor before. Ms. Macias, you taught for like 20 years, so I can just, I'm sure you know what these students go through. I'm sure you guys went through it as well. So please don't do away with it. Help the students. All of them need it. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are all of the public comments that we have for tonight. So with that, we're going to move on to, question? Okay. No interruption. Hang tight. We will figure this out. Okay, hang tight. Okay, hold on. It might be operator error on the chair's part. If the paper stuck together, it might be just my fingerprints don't always work. Was it in? Hot off the presses, just right now, we have one more public comment, and that is Jordan Ferguson. Thank you.
All right. We are here to share with the board the students' perspective in regards to the presence of in-person classes. To make it clear, we as students are not against online classes. We are here to convey the concern and importance of preserving in-person classes at Crafton Hills College. The option to enroll in in-person classes is important to students at Crafton, as is undeniably proven through the 280 signatures my peers and I collected. In-person classes offer unique experiences and opportunities. I personally have I've always felt that the staff and faculty of Crafton have the best interests of students in mind. The wide variety of classes and various attendance options is evidence that Crafton truly cares for their students and promotes student success. Removing and reducing in-person classes at Crafton Hills College changes this narrative entirely. There is undeniable proof in front of you, 280 signatures, the students have spoken, and it is in everyone's best interest if the student's perspective is heard, respected, and the appropriate action is taken. In theory, the majority of classes are offered both online and in person. However, in reality, of innumerable other students when an in-person class does not have enough enrollment, it is canceled entirely. In an attempt to remedy this issue, students have been encouraged to simply take the online version of this class, failing to address whether this is what we actually want. Due to the impact enrollment has on the presence of classes on campus, numerous classes that are on paper being offered in person are not an option for students in reality. This system dependent on enrollment is flawed and needs to be seriously reevaluated. It is dismissive of students' needs. Every single student's needs should matter to you by continuing to offer in-person classes regardless of whether they meet a clear way to show students that Crafton strives to create a learning environment that is transformational and show everyone that Crafton has an exceptional learning environment built on a tradition of excellence, a talented faculty, and a driven student body, as Crafton's mission statement claims. In response to my petition, I received an email with the following comment. My ASL class recently had to go online, and for me personally, it was an immediate struggle, and I imagine I am not the only one. The story of the student conveys that numerous studies rely on in-person classes in order to receive education that is accessible to their needs. Please support your students and ensure that in-person classes remain on campus and do not continue to decline as they have been, as studies show they are nationwide. LA Times found that in pre-pandemic, fall 2019, 80% of community college classes were fully in person. 2 years later, it's now 25% of classes in person. A study conducted by the National Institute of Health found that students preferred in-person teaching and reported higher engagement, learning, and understanding during classroom teaching. Nelson Mandela stated that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Education is the future of our nation. I believe all change starts with education. I believe that change is the end result of true learning, as Leo Biscali once said. The future of education at Crafton Hills and at large matters to me because the rest of my life is determined by seemingly insignificant details like whether I can take a class in person or not. However, it's not insignificant. I know in-person classes can change my life and everyone else's lives because they already have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with that, our public comment is, and I will call Officer Quigley to the podium to introduce the officers being pinned.
Good evening. Sorry for the delay. It'll actually be our Chief of Police introducing our officers for tonight. Thank you.
Doing all kind of house cleaning stuff. We will make it quick. Good evening, Chair Houston, trustees, Chancellor Rodriguez, Dr. Haran, and Fontanella, Vice Chancellor, student trustees, distinguished guests. I actually have Chief Polino and Chief Gutierrez here, district and department personnel, and we are here this evening to celebrate and most importantly, swear in 4 new police officers to the San Bernardino Community College District. I cannot tell you how proud we are to have the opportunity to swear these 4 officers in. Myself and Chief Polino and Chief Gutierrez had an opportunity to spend last weekend in San Diego, where there was about 3,000 police executives from around conference, IACP. One of the key and most challenging issues that was identified during that conference, these 2 chiefs in the back can attest to, was recruitment and retention. So when we're able, with the new guidelines from the SB2 new legislation that came into play and Title V that came into play January 1st, 2023, to hire 4 police officers in this challenge. Agencies are out there offering huge monetary incentives just to bring some of the officers on board. Matter of fact, some of them are even offering houses to bring them in. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce the 4 officers that so gracefully came to us to allow us to help safeguard the campus community, the students, the faculty, and the visitors. First up, if you can walk forward, is Mark Sear. And Mark? Well, let's have everybody come up in the interest of time. Mark Sear comes to us by way of Claremont. He was born in Covina, but raised in Claremont. He currently lives in Glendora. He's here with his wife. Where is she? Okay. With his wife, Elizabeth. What's unique about his wife is that she's actually due with their first child Tuesday, October 24th. So we're hoping that we get through the ceremony pretty quickly, and she doesn't gracefully give us, I think her name is Elizabeth Grace, right? Isabel Grace, during this board meeting tonight. Mark went through the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department Police Academy. He was also an EMT, a police cadet with Glendora, and he has an associate's degree in criminal justice from Citrus Community College. And again, Mark Sear. Next, I have the honor to introduce Brian Molina, who was born in Pomona, raised in Claremont. He's currently still in Claremont. He graduated from the Rio Hondo Police Academy and has previous law enforcement experience as a non-sworn public safety officer with several hospitals in the local area. He went to Citrus and Rio Hondo Community College, and we have his fiancee, Lisa Harris, that will join and assist us in the pinning ceremony. Lisa, where are you at? Here. Okay. Welcome, Melina. And then we have the third officer, Brian Carbajal. Drove in from, any guess? Any guess where he drove in from? Chula Vista, California. That's where he currently lives. He was born in El Salvador, raised in Glendale, but currently lives in Chula Vista, California, where he drives on a weekly basis into San Bernardino Community College District. But he works graveyard, so that helps him a little bit until he gets off. He is a military veteran with about 14 years in the United States Marine Corps, active and reserve. Glendale Community College, the San Diego Regional Police Academy, and has previous experience with San Diego PD. He has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from National University, and his wife, Joyce Carbajal, is here. Joycelyn, Carbajal is here to assist us in the presentation. Welcome, Edwin Carbajal. Last but not least, we have Aaron Tang. He was born in a beach city, Newport Beach, and raised in Laguna Beach, again, a beach city. He currently lives in a hot city, Moreno Valley. He graduated from San Diego Regional Police Academy, has a previous law enforcement experience with San Diego PD. He obtained his associate's degree with Saddleback Community College in psychology and a bachelor's degree from Cal State Fullerton, majoring in psychology. Crystal Garcia here to join with the pinning ceremony. Crystal, right here, introducing Aaron Tang. Let me just say real quick, to hire all these 4 officers is a challenge, as I said, with the new regulations at SB2 and stuff like that. And I just want to show the board, this is one package to actually hire that officer. And we have to go through every page. We're a post agency, and they come out and audit us every 6 months to make sure that all the compliance. With that being said, let's have the family members come up, and I will give the oath to each one of these officers.
Chief Jackson?
Yes.
After the oath, it would be an honor to have our new officers take a photo with our board members. Yourself, please.
Absolutely. If you can do me the honors and hand the badges to the family members. I got 6 with Carbajal. Yeah, 6 to Carvajal's wife. I got 8 to Sear. I got 9 to Brian Molina. And I got 10 to Aaron Tang. If someone wants to get into a position, because I'm going to be doing it this way, if you guys would raise your right hand and repeat after me, but you're going to be saying your name as opposed to somebody else's name. I. Say your name.
Brian Molina.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
Or affirm. That I will support and defend.
That I will support and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
Against all enemies.
Against all enemies.
Foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic.
And that I will bear truth, faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance to the Constitution.
And allegiance to the Constitution.
Of the United States.
Of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservations or purpose.
Without any mental reservations or purpose.
Of evasion.
Of evasion.
And that I will.
And that I will.
Well and faithfully discharge.
Well and faithfully discharge.
The duties upon which I am about to enter.
The duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. The family members can pin the badges on right now.
As they're doing the pinning, we'll ask the board if to come around to the front of the dais, so we'll do a photo. So we'll come around right now.
Again, welcome and congratulations to all the family members in the San Bernardino Community College District staff, faculty, and everyone that came out for whatever reason you came out for to celebrate these officers. I appreciate it. If you can come here, thank you very much. Thank you again.
Congratulations, and thank you in advance for your service to our district and our students. With that, we're going to move on to our next presentation, which will be our and I believe first up we have Scott Rippey.
That's a long walk up here. Hi, I'm glad to be here to give this sabbatical report to this board. I've been here in this college district for a long time, and I'm very proud to be a faculty member in this district. I think we do great work. For my sabbatical report, I would like to preface it by saying that in our math department at Crafton Hills College, we had discussed for several years that there was a need for writing some directed learning activities in mathematics for our tutoring center and for our students to have more wide access. A directed learning activity is simply an exercise that the students read through and work through with certain examples, and they're guided. It's directed learning, right? They're guided in progressing through some ideas, and some of these are for new ideas with for the class that they are actually enrolled in, and others are for review for topics that they might have perhaps forgotten how to do, and they need those topics to be successful in the course that they are currently enrolled in. So that was the idea. We had talked about it for years as a department, like I said, but no one had the time. It takes a lot of time. No one had the extra time to just start writing these, on their weekends. So, so that's when I decided it might be a good idea for me to take a semester sabbatical to write some of these. What I did was I was asking our department members, both full-time and part-time, for their input on specific topics that our students struggle with and need the most. And those were the directed learning activities that I wrote. Also, we wanted them to have access to them freely. So we wanted them actually posted on our tutoring center website or webpage on the college website. And so I wanted them to be also interactive to some degree. And so I investigated different software companies and found one with the Maple company that has done mathematics calculations in Maple for decades. And they were presenting this new software. Teachers could actually go in and write their own assignments and post them on the web with this interactive software. I was told I would have a laptop. Did that not happen? Okay. I was going to show you on our website, if you go to the Crafton Hills website and go under Student Services to the tutoring page, and then you can click on the math-directed learning activities. There is a whole list there of the ones that I wrote. One of the things that I really like, for instance, on graphing, some of the students have trouble with graphing functions, and they can go into that directed learning activity and pull a button back and forth, and it moves the graph up and down or right and left, or makes it steeper or wider, depending on where they move the button and the actual numbers that change within the equation or function as they move it. Okay, so it is interactive. I have assigned several of these to my personal students in my classes, especially when they need to review a topic. And I asked them to give me feedback. Was it helpful? And so far, all of the feedback has been several said, now I get it. This was really good. So I have actually given 2 trainings this semester so far to math faculty on how to use them and how to use the Maple Learn software as well. And then tomorrow morning with our tutoring center on campus, I am giving a training to our tutors in the tutoring center, so to show them how to use it and how to help the students use it. And so now these are available online, and any student on campus can use it. thanks to our administration that that bought a site license for the college for the MapleLearn software, so none of the students would have to pay to get access to the program, or even to be able to send a link. After they've worked through it, they can send a link to their teacher, and the teacher can receive it and see the work they've done. So it's, I think it's a very successful venture, and I plan to keep it going, to write more as we come up with topics that we think our students really need. And that's my report.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions from the trustees? No? Okay. Next up is Jeremiah Gilbert. Maybe not here? Don't want to see him? Okay. All right, well, we will then move on to our next presentation, which is our dual enrollment update, and I will ask our chancellor to introduce this item for us.
Thank you, Chair Houston. Both of our colleges, Valley College and Crafton Hills College, have been working tirelessly in forging partnerships with our K-12 partners in order to offer courses to their students. And leading those efforts for the district office is Dr. Noemi Ornales, our Vice Chancellor of Instruction and Student Support Services, who has an update for the board. Dr. Ornales?
Good evening, board, board chair and board of trustees and members of the executive cabinet. It's really my honor to come here to share all of the great work that's taking place at the colleges and collectively as a district. As we begin to think about the work that's been done over the last year to 18 months, we begin to think about the progress that we've made. And so I'm here to provide you another update and highlight some of the accomplishments that we've made in such a short period of time. But before I start that, I always like to remind the board of why we're here and why we do the work that we do and how this aligns to your goals as collectively as a board. And so your first goal outlines eliminating barriers to student access and success. And when we begin to think about the work that's being done, that supports your goal and serves our community. What you see below that are the newly created strategic directions that the colleges have established and created that support the efforts for dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is not something new. It's existed for decades. But in the last couple of years, there's been a concerted effort to begin to see how we can use dual enrollment, not only as an avenue to support students in their educational journeys, but also an opportunity to create access for underrepresented students. And this year, you all are aware of the California Community College's Chancellor's Office, who has developed, updated their vision, and they're calling it Vision 2030. And that is really a key focus in the goals that they've established, is creating those pathways for students through dual enrollment programs. And dual enrollment programs would not be successful without the collaboration and partnerships that have been established. So I really want to credit the colleges, the faculty, the staff, administration at the colleges who really work closely with the high schools. We used to begin to think about what dual enrollment means, and sometimes we use the definition of enrollment, but at the end, for students, for them, it means they're going to college while they're in high school. So sometimes those definitions can get in the way of really knowing that the students are going to enroll in college. These partnerships have really been strengthened over the last year. There's been conversations about how do we improve our programs and services. We talk about our students and their needs, and the students that are coming to us are not the same students that were here 5 years ago. not the same students that we were serving 10 years ago. So we have to change and adapt to meet those student needs. And those conversations are taking place with the colleges and with their leads. We're also bringing counselors and high school staff to the college campuses to learn more about the programs and services and really beginning to understand, how do we make this work for your school? Because there's not one size fits all. And as I continue my presentation, you will begin to see the differences and the different options that we can have. We also are looking at, how do we create some best practices? There's been a couple of different efforts at the State Chancellor's Office where they've hosted regional dual enrollment workshops. And I'm happy to say that we are looking at getting a dual enrollment workshop, a statewide dual enrollment workshop in the Inland Empire, hopefully in January, which would allow our staff and our faculty to come together to learn and understand the various best practices and collaborate with other partners. So when we begin to think about our successes, I believe this chart really begins to highlight some of the accomplishments and some of the strides we've made to create access for students. So this is a fall to fall comparison. And what you'll see is this fall 23, we enrolled over 1,700 students in our dual enrollment programs. Having personally worked boots on the ground with dual enrollment, I can tell you that this is not an easy task. I understand the challenges and the back and forth that we've had with students, and so this is a real big accomplishment for our college and for our students. That's a 24%, or excuse me, a 26% increase compared to the previous year. Some of the top courses that our students are Introduction to College and Life, Spanish, and Statistics and College Algebra, among many courses that are being offered. As I mentioned before, there are a lot of different models for dual enrollment. We have various courses being taught at the high school, where a faculty member goes to the high school and instructs students. We also have courses being taught after school, during the day. We have hybrid model where students are enrolled in a period and the instructor is on Zoom or online, and the students are in a designated course through the high school. We also have various modalities. So this really gives our students the opportunities to work on and enroll in courses that they have, but it also is meeting the needs of the high school. We know high schools have different schedules and different needs. So as a college district, being able to adapt needs is really important, because that's what's going to help their students be successful. We also have different visions in terms of what type of pathways colleges are offering to the high schools. So some high schools want courses related directly related to CTE courses, so they create a CTE pathways. Other high schools would like more of a university-bound transfer pathway. So those schools are looking more for courses that meet the IGETC pattern or the general education pattern. And then we have high schools who are looking at improving and increasing the opportunity for students to earn wages and go directly into the workforce. So it's important for us to consider these factors when we're looking at what type of programming and what type of services we also offer students. When we begin to look at the FTS, which is also an important factor as we look at our enrollment and meeting our targets that we've set for us and the targets that we project, dual enrollment students are bringing in around 290 FTS, and that is for the fall semester, so that's not including the spring. And these charts really show you that there's an upward trend in where we're going. The average unit load is about 4.5, so that's about a class per student. The students are really looking at developing education plans and focusing on what's next. When we begin to think about what the breakdown is between our colleges, this graphic begins to show you that from spring to fall, you see the drastic increase as well. When we compare enrollment from spring to fall, it is over 40% that we've grown in the number of students. So that's also a really good indicator that there's interest, but that there's also an opportunity for students to take advantage of these courses. Students who are enrolled in dual enrollment are not required to pay for these courses. So we did hear in our public comment the challenges of college affordability. So this is another access point where our students are able to access these courses at no cost. Nationally, data actually show that all of our students of color are underrepresented in dual enrollment programs. So when we begin to think about the work that we're doing here in our area, in our service area, and we begin to capture the demographics that reflect our community, it really is something that we should be proud of here. There's been intentional efforts to focus on equity and access at the colleges, and they're doing this through several programs. This breakdown that you have on the table here just gives you an idea of all of the high schools that are being serviced through our dual enrollment programs, and they are reflective of our entire service area. Most importantly, what I want to highlight in terms of the update here is that we have made significant progress to really focus on action with dual enrollment. And there's several items that we've worked on. We've established a dual enrollment working group that includes our college, some of our college leads over the dual enrollment programs. And there's specific efforts to make sure that we are addressing access. So when it comes to technology, how is our technology creating barriers for our students? How are our policies creating barriers for our students? How do we focus on success and retention for our students? And how do we establish a process for our dual enrollment program expansion? And I'm going to give you a quick example of some of the work that was done. There was a high school who reached out to us and was interested in some courses from the other college. So we'll just use Crafton Hills College. They were interested in a course that was not in a program that was offered by Crafton Hills College. And through this partnership and collaboration, we were able to work with Valley College to make sure that students were able to access that program, so that we're not limiting our students, but we're not sending our students away in our service area to another community college district. That's the last thing we want to do. We want our students to stay in our service area and to stay in our colleges. So these partnerships are allowing us to have conversations that will enhance our programs and that will hopefully expand our enrollment and expand the options for students. The other thing we're having is we have bi-weekly meetings with our high schools. So the colleges are being very intentional in meeting with our high schools to make sure that these programs are up and running. There's embedded tutoring being offered. We have a mentorship program. We recently expanded our partnerships with Sage Oak and the Grove School. One of the things that I'm very excited about as we were talking to the colleges and the campuses is that we are participating in the Dual Enrollment Leadership Academy, and that's one of the unique pieces is that this program really focuses on elevating access to underrepresented students, but creating sustainable practices. And the focus is really on supporting student success. But recently, the college was recognized for being the only community college to invite their high school partners. So that was a true testament of the commitment that we're making to ensure that the colleges are listening to our high school partners and listening to their voices. The other piece that we have is really the alignment with. So there's a lot of different policies that have unintentionally created barriers for students to access dual enrollment programs. We have multiple transcripts that we have to collect. We have parent signatures. And during this last month, the Board of Governors approved the elimination of some of those practices that may be outdated or are creating barriers for students. And so I want to say we're one of the leading colleges that we've already drafted a policy to eliminate those barriers for students. The currently drafted changes were filed this week with the Office of Administrative Law and the California Secretary of State. That's how hot off the press this is, and we already have something drafted. It went to the California Secretary of State on October 17th, was 2 days ago. And then the regulations will take effect on November 16th. The governor also signed AB 368, which provides priority registration for dual enrolled students, and it also allows for students who are enrolled in CCAP for the location to not only be at the high school, but to also be at the college. So these are some upcoming changes that we will stay informed of and implement as soon as we are able to. There was also a recent legislation signed, which is AB 1096, which authorizes courses to be offered in another language besides English. So when we're thinking about access to our underrepresented students, this might open the door for our English language learners who may have not had access to these dual enrollment programs. As we begin to focus on the need, technology is going to be one of the core pieces to helping us succeed with streamlining and creating efficiencies. And I'm happy to say that we've made significant progress, but there's still ways to go in this area. We have opportunities for improvement, and we have to work towards eliminating steps that are not required. So we are going to take a deeper dive and really assess what is needed, what is required by law, and how can we help our students get enrolled in these courses. And lastly, I want to highlight that as part of best practices, we continue to do research, and just this month, the Community College Research Center released a publication, and it talked about dual enrollment and their best practices, and it focused on reimagining, how we do business. And one of the best practices was to create intentional outreach and college awareness opportunities. So I'm really excited that we are creating various options for our schools, and we've launched a program called College Connect, represented in our dual enrollment portfolio or in our dual enrollment as much as we would like to. So we are having designated and targeted outreach to support and promote avenues. So this is going to be an app that will allow parents and students to access information about college in both English and Spanish. So this was hopefully a quick update on the work that's being done, and I'm just really excited to be part of these efforts. I do feel that SBCCD, the colleges, are doing great work, and that we will be one of the leaders that's creating change, but most importantly, access for students in our community. That concludes my presentation, and I'm not sure if there's any questions, but I'd be happy to answer them. Trustee Harrison.
At one time when dual enrollment, there was very specific qualifications that a student had to have in order to enroll in a college course, especially a transfer course. And I'm assuming that the courses that we offer in our dual enrollment are not our regular classes, not remediation, not that kind of thing. Although remediation was something that we used to offer during summer for those students who needed it. But I'm assuming that the qualifications for a student to come to us are the same. Have they been changed?
That's a great question. And so there are through our administrative procedure, there are policies to admit a student that is still in high school. Mm-hmm. However, the course still meets the rigor and the standard of a college course. There are some other requirements, and a lot of it has to do with the high school and ensuring that maybe there's not a duplication, or that the student meets the standards to be successful. locally, we are looking at some of those as potential barriers if we've added additional requirements. But I can say that there are specific requirements, and that's really why it's so important for us to work closely with our high schools and to have those relationships established so we can ensure that the student is getting what they need. But the high school has to authorize or approve, in addition to a parent signature, approve the student to enroll as a dual enrolled student.
I have a follow-up question.
Okay. Yes.
My follow-up question, note that we measure success and then retention. So what has been the emphasis on this program is still recent, right? I would say within the last year or two.
Yeah, yes, this is recent. I think one of the areas, and I touched a little bit upon that in my update, is that our deans are looking at the success rates, and so there have been interventions like our mentoring program, embedded tutoring, access to counseling services to support our students with their success. We want them to enroll in college, but we also want them to be successful. So
we don't have any data yet?
We do. I don't have the data, as part of this presentation, but we do have data that is being examined, and I can put that together, bring it back to the board.
I was very impressed with the numbers. And then the other thing that I wanted to ask was what percentage of our total FTS is represented by our dual enrollment program?
So we have 290 FTS currently in the fall that's captured for dual enrollment. So if we were to double that annually, it could be close to 600 FTS. Our target this year is 13,457 FTS. So that the percentage of our dual enrollment.
Did Rippy already leave? He could give us the percentage like that.
Trustee Reyes?
Thank you so much for this excellent report. I recall when I was in charge of the counseling department, going back to what Trustee Harrison was saying, that it was a little bit more difficult to enroll here because we really didn't at that time. You're talking about 35 years, 40 years ago. Dual enrollment was very, it's really away from the high school. Mm-hmm. But now things have changed, and I think that all of us are hurting from community college to four-year colleges in terms of, so I think that with the changes of policy through a legislative, I think that they've made it easier for students to enroll because we're trying to increase enrollment at all levels. And so I think it's very good. But I remember that you had to have a certain level. At that time, it was primarily English and math were the hot courses. And now you're even talking about the workforce development, technical certificate programs. Has that really, have we eased the requirements in terms, you have to have a B average. Without a B average and without the consent of the counselors at the high school, they couldn't come here.
So GPA is not a requirement for dual enrollment participation. That's not required. But what we do want to do is ensure that the student's successful. So that's why it's so important for the student to have that interactive process with their high school and with the counselor to ensure that they'll be successful, and then working closely with our college programs and services to outline that. There are differences in the processes in terms of what the requirements are, especially since AB 705 came about that does not require us to place students in English and math. They can self-place, but there are significant changes just in terms of looking back and where we're at today.
And as long as we're doing it for the benefit of the student, I think it's great. But if we look at the statistics and say they have not been successful, then we need to really have that good communication, articulation with the high school counselors. They're the key people. And then the parents will always be part of that because they have to get a signature. So again, thank you for taking the lead. Let's continue to work real hard because it's to our advantage to make sure that we can give high school students an opportunity. And I think that if we do it the right way, and we are doing it the right way, enrollment will continue to increase for the benefit of everybody. So I wanted to thank you for taking that lead.
And then we have a comment from Dr. Patanila.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you, Dr. Ornelas, for acknowledging the work. Trustee Harris, I just wanted to give you a little update. We don't have all the data that you might be asking for, but it just so happens that I was talking to Dr. Patty Quash and Dr. Dina Humble, who are working on our dual enrollment, leading the efforts of dual enrollment at our school, and we would happen to be looking at the data from the middle college, which is right across the street from San Bernardino. And just this morning, we were talking about the number of students who are now graduating from high school with an AA degree. The percentage of students was 15.91%, and in 2022, it's up to 22.3%. And we also looked at the number of students who were meeting IGETSI requirements, and in 2013, it was 9%, and now it is, hold on to your seat, 40.68%. Yes, so if we could extrapolate that out, I know that all high schools aren't doing that yet because the middle college is really exceptional, but I seeing.
And we did the math. It's 2.1% of the FTE, yes. And then I'll just, if I can just add one comment in terms of the relation to the K-12 dashboard and the changes that have happened over the last few years. There is specifically one of the measures in the College and Career Indicator that is college credits. So for our graduation, I always say it's like the, the Panera, you get your sandwich and then one of the sides. So the chart is graduation, and then there are 8 options that you add to that sandwich, and one of those options is college credit. So this also helps our K-12 districts in their measures that are part of what they're accountable for. So thank you for that. Turn my mic off. All right, so that concludes our presentations for today, which takes us to our actions, which our first action is the approval of our minutes from the September 14th meeting. So I'll look for a motion. We have a motion from Trustee Longville. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Trustee Harrison. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Student Trustee Lee. Aye. Student Trustee Ruiz-Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Longville.
Aye.
Trustee Reyes.
Aye.
And chair votes aye, and so ordered. Trustee Versal had to just step away, but she'll be back. We still have a quorum though, so we're good to go. Moving on to applause cards are next. So you'll see up on the screen all of those that were recommended for recognition, quality service. That's a lot of applause. Thank you. All right, we are now on to our action agenda. So the first item will be our board policies for final approval. So we will, the 2 board policies are 2210 and 2725. So I'll look for a motion on that.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
And we have a second. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Student Trustee Lee? Aye. Student Trustee Ruiz-Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Harrison?
Aye.
Trustee Longville?
Aye.
Trustee Reyes?
Aye.
And chair votes aye, and so ordered. On to Resolution 2023-10-12- SBVC-1-childcare. We will look for a motion to adopt that resolution authorizing a change in the contact person for the San Bernardino Valley College Child Development Center. Do we have a motion? A motion.
Second.
Motion by Longville and second by Trustee Reyes. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll conduct a roll call vote. Student Trustee Lee. Aye. Student Trustee Ruiz Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Longville.
Aye.
Trustee Reyes.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. On to resolution number 2023-10-19-BFS-01, authorizing the issuance of SBCCD, San Bernardino and Riverside Counties, election of 2008 General Obligation Bond Series E. So we'll be looking for a motion and a second to adopt the resolution authorizing the issuance of these bonds.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for a roll call vote. Student Trustee Lee? Aye. Student Trustee Ruiz Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Harrison?
Aye.
Trustee Longville?
Aye.
Trustee Reyes?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. On to, make sure I didn't skip anything. D. Okay, sorry. So resolution number 2023-10-19-BFS-02, authorizing the issuance of SBCCD, San Bernardino and Riverside County election of 2018 General Obligation Bonds Series
I'll make a motion.
B. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Student Trustee Lee? Student Trustee Ruiz Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Harrison?
Aye.
Trustee Longville?
Aye.
Trustee Reyes?
Aye.
And chair votes aye, and so ordered. Now we are on to our consent agenda. The consent agenda is expected to be routine and non-controversial. It will be acted upon by the board at one time without discussion. Any member of the board, however, or staff member or citizen may request that an item be removed from this section for discussion. Are there any items to be pulled for discussion from the consent agenda?
I move adoption of the consent calendar.
We have a motion. Do we have a
I'll second.
second? And a second. Okay, we'll conduct a roll call vote. Student Trustee Lee? Student Trustee Ruiz Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Harrison?
Aye.
Trustee Longville?
Aye.
Trustee Reyes?
Aye.
And chair votes aye, and so ordered. We are now on to our reports. So we will start, we had a Board Finance Committee meeting, but we have a printed report since Trustee Gonzalez is absent tonight. So we will move to our Board Legislative Committee.
Yes, Madam Chair. We met this afternoon, and just happy to report that we had a very meaningful and impactful conversation. This year, the governor signed several important bills and vetoed several of them. We also took 8 bills that dealt with basic needs for the college, affordability, funding for infrastructure, and other issues. Now we are planning for the deep discussions in terms of advocacy. And I think that through the efforts of our college, I know that I've attended a couple of discussions with the city of Grand Terrace, because that's important for the leadership of Diana. Our chancellor was very good in regards to informing. A lot of times we don't, the cities, certainly the cities don't feel that they can participate or they can have an input, but in reality they can. And Diana did a very good job in informing and making it easier for anybody to come to a community college, and then how effective it is for them to be here, take classes here. And then a couple of them actually stood up and say, "Oh, I'm a graduate. I'm requesting anybody that lives in this case, we were targeting Grand Terrace, but it could be at Rialto, it could be at San Bernardino." So I think we're finding out that, that's why I think it's important. when we go out into the community and we inform people what we have, at the cost that we have, I think enrollment will continue to improve because now the message is out there. And I think if you take a class at university, it's very expensive. But for us, we can offer the same thing. And it could be either vocational, which is certificate programs, or it could be transfer programs, going to medical school, go to law school, whatever. Angel has done a very good job and coordinated. Angel and Inez are doing a good job in coordinating the discussions. I understand that they also had a meeting with the Redlands Unified. And I think it's important. Now, what I'm recommending for them in the future to do, to invite that board member that is part of that so that they feel connected. And if there's a question that they have regarding San Bernardino Valley College or Crafton Hills College, or even our, KVCR, we always can tell them, these are the people we can have. So and they're going to continue to do that. They're going to continue to do that. Also, we had a long meeting. We were have several senators come and visit our campus, and again, I applaud that. It's really important. They're the ones that vote for our budget in terms of the state or at the federal. So we want them to feel that this is their home. This is when we're talking about students, this is where we really take advantage of this. So really make sure, and then I'm going to go into my report and the other things as to how we're helping the students, how students are being beneficial here. But anyway, they doing a good job. I want to thank both presidents because you're the ones that really opened those opportunities. Congressman Pete Aguilar, through the leadership of can you remember? Angel and Inez, they're going to bring him here. But when we bring people to our campus, it's not just to show them around. That's really important. Is always, what benefit can we get in terms of resources for our students, for our faculty, for our staff? Very complicated to get that. It doesn't come very easy. Anyway, as you know, he's the third ranking person. So he plays so they took pictures, they talked to them, and I guess he's wanting to come back to visit the college. You can't put a price on that. See, and some people may not understand how that works. We're low income. The students will do this, so we should get that. There's 116 community colleges. If we're not active, this is where we all need to work together. We all need to get to work together, because if we don't, it's not going to happen. So anyway, lastly, I want to compliment, and I want our Vice Chancellor for Educational. I've been talking about this. Grants don't happen overnight. It took a year and a half. We had actually lost this grant thanks to the leadership of Diana, put together with Dr. Ornelas, Jose. I want Dr. Ornelas to name some of the people because we were very fortunate. I want everybody to hear that, including the faculty members that are here. We got an award of $4 million. $4 million to be able to expand our workforce development program. So this is where the victory, this is where we're very unique. There's only about 4 community colleges that received that. We're one of them. This is where we all need to work together. We all need to work together. So I want Dr. Ornelas to, this is a team effort. It's not just Frank Reyes, it's not Dr. Ornelas, it's not just Diana. It's all of us working together from top to bottom, including the classified, including the faculty members. If we don't work together, we won't make it. So I like my report. Will, Dr. Ornelas, please, because this is a team effort.
Thank you. It's really an honor to speak to the recent award that the district received from the Economic Development Administration, and it really is to provide additional learning spaces for training and creating and retaining jobs. So I'd like to recognize the leadership of Deanna Crable, Farah Farzaneh, Hassan Mirza, Daniela Esparza, Kelly Goodrich, Erica Menji, Tim Brianna Flores, Angel Rodriguez, Jose Torres, Christina Hannon, Jake Whittaker, and our Chancellor Diana Rodriguez.
And this is just the beginning. I just learned that we have another grant writer. We appreciate the leadership. She's going to work real hard overtime and all that because we want more money for our students and for our faculty. So thank you so much. There's monies available out there. We'll be heading down to DC during the middle of the year, and we're going to be meeting with the people that come and visit us, the congressional and the senators and the assembly people. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Thank you for your report. When I look at the list of reports that we would regularly be looking at, we have a couple of members absent today. And so that sort of brings us down to the priority report. We did have a meeting of our San Bernardino Regional Emergency Training Center last week, and we are continuing to advocate for the updates and the federal funding to update that facility. So that work will be part of what we continue to do in terms of the investment, advocating for the investment in our community and the global footprint that we now have at that San Bernardino Regional Emergency Training Center. We are over the world. So it's a great opportunity. So that's my report on that.
Can I make a comment in that regard? Just that quickly. Diana, our chancellor and our leadership were attended a community function, and I don't just do things just to do things. What's in it for us? We're able to advocate that we got the $4 million grant. So I asked a couple of the senators to please, Ms. Connie Leyva, in regards to what can they do for us. And Ms. Ochoa made a commitment that she would love to work with us because I'm thinking about the fire training facility. So I don't want people to just come in here, look at our facilities and say it's beautiful and take a picture and they go home. We don't do that. Take a picture, what activities and what participation, what budget. So she made a commitment. She's going to be working with the Assemblywoman, I think her name was Eloise Reyes, to be able to work together as a Republican and as a Democrat to be able to obtain that. So she was very encouraged to come and be part of that. And then she's going to come and visit our campus. Am I correct, Mr. Rodriguez, Angel? You have her come and visit her.
Yes, sir.
So, again, that's what we're talking. This is where the relationship, they'll see the need, and that would help you because I know you're the chair of the JPA for the...
And the federal investment is what we're seeking at this time through the FAA. So and the members and the Secretary of Transportation in that we have been able to engage with has certainly helped us with setting the stage for that future investment from our federal level into our region, which is also, all the funding matters. And it's nice to have that federal recognition of the Inland Empire as a global hub for the training that we're providing to our specifically airport fire.
Thank you for taking the lead because you're Secretary of Transportation. That's where the money is as well. We don't let anybody leave without us asking for grants. So your leadership is really, really important.
Thank you for that. We will move on to our Chancellor's report.
Thank you, Chair. Again, good evening, everyone. I'd like to first start out by acknowledging that this week is Undocumented Student Action Week at our district, as well as community colleges throughout the state. During this week, we celebrate the valuable contributions of our immigrant community and offer support services to ensure that our undocumented students have the opportunity to pursue higher education and to achieve their full potential throughout our district. I also want to express my Valley College for their workshops, events, and discussions on campus aimed at our undocumented students. So thank you very, very much for doing that. So as you know, I've been meeting with local mayors and council members to update them on our colleges and really highlight the positive impact of our students, faculty, staff, and alumni have in the community. So a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to visit with Grand Terrace, as Trustee Reyes mentioned. Next, I'll be visiting Yucaipa. But this week, I had the privilege of visiting with the mayor and council members in Redlands, and just want to thank them for such a warm welcome to our team. And during that meeting, I emphasized our commitment to supporting local businesses and hiring local talent. That is a priority of mine and also the priority of our boards of trustees. We contributed $1.4 million to businesses in Redlands, boosting the local economy. And also during the visit, I learned that many of the members of the council, of the Redlands Council, either attended Crafton Hills College or Valley Hills, Valley Hills. I just renamed the college. Valley College themselves, or have family members who have benefited from the campuses. We also learned that one of the council members is 4 generations of family members attending one of our campuses. That's impressive. So, and it's just wonderful knowing that our graduates are making a difference in Redlands and in the larger community. So, and also speaking of economic impact, I'm pleased to share a report. When we consider the alumni wages, the students' spending in our local businesses, our construction projects, and just our day-to-day operations, our college district has a significant ripple effect to $723 million annually in the Inland Empire, and that is an enormous amount of money. This shows how our district is positively influencing our community's prosperity. And to put this into context, the last time we did this analysis was around 2016-ish, and the economic impact at that time was $621 million. So from that date to current, we've grown an impressive nearly $100 million since then. Lastly, I just want to express my gratitude as Trustee Reyes talked about the grant, $3 million grant from our Economic Development Administration. Again, thank you all for everybody who that participated. It will mean a tremendous amount to our students. So we have strong momentum within our college district, and I thank each of you for your dedication in supporting our students. And that is my report. Thank you.
Thank you for that. We're going to move on to our represented
I'm rubbing off
groups.
on you.
I know. And first up will be our Crafton Hills College Academic Senate.
I like the shirt.
I know. I was very happy to be able to get this done. Good evening, everyone. I don't actually have a lot to report. So just a couple things that's happening at Crafton in the Senate. One of the first things for under your eliminate barriers to eliminate students. No, don't eliminate students. Eliminate barriers to student access. We had a presentation from our ESL non-credit program. It was started a couple of years ago, and it's been slowly kind of working and getting more classes available, more faculty who are able to teach it. And so it was just nice to kind of hear an update on what is going on. They've definitely been able to offer more classes, more multi-level classes at Crafton for our students, and continuing to expand it for more and more students, and also planning on doing some workshops in the spring. So that was a good one that we had a little bit of information about. Another thing that we had at their last meeting was Christina Hannon came and presented on the new EEO plan and the revised or newly developed hiring process, which is quite different than what we have done in the past. So it was the response from the Senate was very, very positive about what that you are working on doing with this new hiring process that was actually piloted at Valley and also seemed to be very successful there. So it was very well received. So thank you very much, Christina, for coming and doing that. The only other thing there's a couple things, but just little things, we have updated our faculty ethics statement. The previous one had been there for quite a few years and we felt didn't really adequately address what, as and what we should be doing in the classroom and with our interactions and things like that, both with students and with our colleagues. So we have updated that. It's not up on the website yet, but it will go up. So if you want to take a look at that, you can have a look at that. And let's see. We are continuing to work on our course caps recommendations document. It's still kind of in process. I'm sure, as you know, it has to go through many, many levels in order to get everybody's input. So right now it's with exec, making some changes. It will go back to our Chair's Council, and hopefully we will have it back to Senate for a final read before the end of this semester. So those are the things that Crafton Senate is working on right now. Thank you very much. Do you have a question? Oh, yes, sorry.
The fact that it was ESL courses?
Yes, the ESL non-credit program has something that we had been developing and working. Chloe De Los Reyes is the multilingual faculty lead, and she has really been doing just an amazing job. It's a slow process at the beginning sometimes to get some of this going, but it's continuing to build and becoming more and more beneficial to students, and definitely something that we're seeing more of at the campus.
I think it's great. I remember when Crafton Hills College didn't offer that, but now our demographics are changing, so I compliment your leadership, the president. And there's monies available at the state level, including the VA, for the VA program. So let's talk about that later.
Good, thank you. All right, have a good evening.
And if I could just make, one comment.
No,
sorry, one comment.
You don't usually ask me questions. I usually am done and I leave.
It's just a comment related. When I was in response to the college credits being part of the dashboard in the K-12 space, that Panera, graduate, and one of the 8. College credits, one of the 8 choices. Another one of the 8 choices is State Seal of Biliteracy. And I'm not sure. The 21-minute documentary called Translators. Look it up. Powerful in that language equals access. And it is the story of 3 students who are young, like 9, 13, and 15, who operate as translators. Shows you the impact and the connection to access. So that State Seal of Biliteracy in our K-12 dashboard, really important. And I would challenge, we've challenged all of our districts to identify that State Seal of Biliteracy as a desired qualification in all job descriptions, so that we are actually promoting that biliteracy is important. So anyway, just appreciate that information on the ESL, because it is a door opener when we're talking about access. And again, Google Translators, 21 minutes, very well spent.
Can you make it easier for us, excuse me, and then can you send us that website?
I can send it. Do you want me to send it?
To us.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll send it.
Awesome, and I'm happy to come back and give updates as the program continues to grow. So.
Thank you for
Thanks.
that.
Anybody else before I leave?
Thank you. Moving on to Crafton Hills College Classified Senate. Karen Peters.
It's a long walk from back there, sorry. Thank you all so much. It's nice to see you this evening. Just a few things. So a couple of weeks ago, at the beginning of the month, I had the opportunity to attend a Region 9 half-day conference for classified professionals from Riverside, I think as far away as Copper Mountain. And it was all about how classified professionals can be more involved in guided pathways. And it was a great beginning of a conversation that we really look forward to continuing to participate in. one of the results that came from that was that we will start having monthly meetings, and this is for any classified professionals in the region. So John Feist from Valley College to get to represent the district in that capacity, and we look forward to continuing to do so. We had a great conversation yesterday with Christina Hannon, our Vice Chancellor, and we look forward to working with her more closely on developing a classified conference later this year for professional development focused specifically for all classified professionals throughout the district. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be really excited to be part of and participate in. One of the things that came from our meeting with the guided pathways was really more about how we can just support our students. And so some of the things that we've decided as our local classified senate to do more of is to actively participate in student activities on campus. And so this week, a group of us went to our water polo game, and we don't need to talk about the score, but it was really fun to be there, and I didn't know anything about water polo, and it was a lot of fun. I learned so much. It was also sort of a professional development opportunity for me. We'll also be attending and participating in theater events and all kinds of things, and it's been really fun to see how excited our classified staff has been to look at the calendar and kind of decide when we're going to go to things together. So I'm really optimistic and excited about doing more and bringing our community together and us as staff in a different way than we normally get to. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Crafton Hills College Associated Students.
Good morning, Chancellor, Board of Trustees, and Student Trustees. My name is Angelique Cuevas. I'm with the Crafton Hills Student Senate. And some noteworthy accomplishments that Crafton Hills Student Senate has done are with the counseling department and invited students who completed unit milestones to our Fall Club Rush event, which we called the Falloween Fun Fest, where we provided 2 free food trucks offering food, and there was a turnout of over 475 students visiting and participating. And to help engage students, we offered a DJ as well as a costume contest where the top 3 winners were awarded prizes, and there were over 30 club opportunities for students to further involve themselves with the school and to explore their interests with others who shared that commonality. And we also, to help eliminate barriers to student access and success, Student Senate me. I spoke at the CHC Distance Education Committee, the DEC meeting on October 11th last week to provide a student's perspective on distance learning program more accessible to students as well as how to improve the way it is being done to ensure students' learning quality online continues to be good. And thirdly, the Student Senate partnered with the Career and Student Accessibility Centers for their Hello Major, Hello Career Fair, which was held on October 18th, so yesterday. And we provided a free taco truck to help draw students to the event. And there were a little over 400 students that attended the event with more than 12 employees, companies, and student services offering job and internship opportunities to all the students. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Next up is our San Bernardino Valley College Academic Senate.
I just want to say you heard me and you put them first this time. So yay. And I apologize for the informal dress, but Halloween, Pride, and ASL won. So that being said, thank you, Madam Chair, trustees, Chancellor, and other guests and members of the board. I am going to apologize in advance. I will try to speak as fast as I can, but I'm going to adjust my report slightly. Sitting through reports tonight and updates, we've heard some really wonderful things. There was some awesome things happening within our district. There's grant monies coming in. There's growth in dual enrollment. There's all students comments regarding their desires about online learning and and face-to-face learning, and about Books Plus, all ties into what's in my written report. But I want to say one thing is throughout all of that, I kept waiting to hear faculty. So I'm kindly sitting deeply in my seat as Academic Senate President and saying none of that is possible without our faculty. And our faculty are the backbone of those programs and come in contact with every single one of those dual enrollment students. And that's a big piece of FTES this year. And so I just want to take the time to recognize them on their behalf, sitting very heavily into my seat. So with that being said, I want to, in terms of under the information to inform policy, the Academic Senate does want to also recognize at Valley that we continue to work on class caps. From our perspective, I want to just share with you, though, that as Meredith had mentioned, it's a long process. It takes a lot of work, lots of steps to go through. But our perspective at Valley is to really work on understanding not only the capacity of our influence as Academic Senate, but also our limitations. Like, how far does that influence go and where does that end? So those are really the focus of our conversations. And I'm pleased to say that we're actually having conversations with our union leadership and excited to see where that leads us and to maybe some common ground. For eliminating barriers to student access and success, you can read the details in the report, but I want to shout out that Valley is really excited and proud to be part of one of the first cohorts currently to go through a local poker certified campus training. And we have our first norming line education environment. And I apologize. And I also want to announce that we have our first safe space, LGBTQ plus safe space training. It's a 2-day training addressing in-depth things such as pronouns, gender, allies, accomplices,
Your turn.
LGBTQ plus experience at SBVC, like in-depth 2-day training, open invitation for anybody from the board to please come join us. And that information is attached once you get that written report. So please take a look at that. It's years and years of work by many on the campus. And last but not least, I want to highlight a Creative Campus or Creative Commons Boot Camp. Valley is really excited to host that December 11th through the 15th. Again, that ties to the OER, the ZTC, the free textbooks, the textbook affordability cost. Know that the faculty are there, we're diving deep, and we're really excited to push that work forward. So thank you for your time tonight, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Next up is San Bernardino Valley College Classified Senate. Looks like no report. We'll move to San Bernardino Valley College Associated Students.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Nalva Ruiz Martinez. I am here to give a report on behalf of the Associated Student Government. See here, for some of the reports that activities that we've been doing in September. During September, ASG ICC hosted our annual Club Rush event, which featured a competition among our various clubs for the best decorative table. The theme for this year's Club Rush was Hispanic Heritage Month, which was really great. It was exciting. I'd like to take this opportunity to give a very huge shout out and a congratulations to Twisted Taste Club for securing the first place position in the competition, because I know they're tuning in right now. So I just wanted to go ahead and give them a quick congratulations to them. And then I'd like to express our gratitude to all the clubs, and more importantly, to the students for their enthusiastic participation and hard work. It's the students' dedication that truly makes events like these special and memorable. Your engagement and support are the driving force behind the success of our campus activities, and we appreciate your active involvement. Additionally, the Associated Student Government provided free pizza and beverages during the event, making it an even more enjoyable experience for our students. based on the data that we did collect this year compared to last year, we managed to have a total of 384 students participating and engaging with various clubs during Club Rush, which is really, really good because last year we had like less than 200 students participating. So that's a really big leap there. This level of student engagement is truly remarkable, and we're thrilled to see our campus community coming together. And looking ahead, we plan to host another Club Rush during the spring semester to further promote student engagement and participation. We believe these events are instrumental in fostering a sense of community involvement in our campus. And then lastly, speak about Books Plus, and I just want to make it very, very clear that we are exploring how Books Plus will be affecting the student body. As we understand, it will be affecting our students. So that is something that we are making a priority. And thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, we have CSEA. Maybe no report there? Okay. We'll move to CTA.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here. First of all, I'd like to start off by thanking the board and the administration for making small moves on our healthcare for our part-timers. We appreciate that. We understand negotiations takes time, and we're willing to continue to talk and negotiate with you, so appreciate that. 0% to our part-timers in the time in which there are continuous growth in other districts. It's an abomination and disrespect to 835 members of our teaching people who are here on the, So we come to you and we ask that you maybe reconsider that and readdress that with your negotiations team. We also are very thankful that the negotiations teams are going to halt yet again the arbitration to make hopefully more forward movement on the fact that, as you heard earlier, some of our professors talk about teaching 2 classes for the price of 1. So we're really worried about their health, their mental health, their physical health. And on top of that, we're very worried about our students and how they are affected by that. We know that the majority of our students at San Bernardino Valley College and Crafton Hills College come from working class families. Many of them themselves are working class. And to put this kind of disrespect on top of their ability to learn is not acceptable. So we come to you again, and we're going to extend our hand across the table. Thank you, Chancellor, for opening that again. And we're hoping that will be somewhat successful. Again, we understand it's a negotiation process. Not everything comes at once, but as long as there's continued movement, we're willing to work with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I believe our Police Officers Association, we have a written report for that. Oh, no, oh, come up. I'm sorry. Come on up.
Sorry, I ran away for a little bit, and then I came back to kicking my report.
Thanks.
So first, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to have our ceremony this evening. It's a small part of the district. It's a small part of the meeting, and I know it seems kind of inconsequential, but for the officers and their families, it really does make a big difference. It's a sense of inclusion and a welcoming to the district. So of our 4 officers, 2 of which have already finished training. Another officer is at the tail end of his field training and will be out shortly. And the 4th officer is actually starting on, I believe, Monday. Hasn't even gone through HR orientation or anything yet. So he'll be out in training for the next couple months. And hopefully we will move on from there and be part of the campus to for safety and security for our staff, faculty, and students. Moving forward to events, yesterday we were very fortunate to be part of EOPS's event up at Crafton and have a booth for Coffee with a Cop. The next event will be at Valley College on Wednesday in front of the Greek Theater. We'll be also doing Coffee with a Cop. So an open time for the community to come forward and talk to us about anything they'd like. I invite everyone to come. It'll be between, I believe, 9 and 11 in the morning. And finally, we have joined the Pink Patch Project for October and beyond. So the Pink Patch Project is a nationwide law enforcement foundation. It is a combination of literally hundreds of different departments who change their patches to pink and black sort of color scheme, and then they sell them off to raise money for foundations benefiting those with breast cancer awareness. So we'll be, for the first year, selling our pink patches for about $10. You can flag down any officer, or you can talk to me directly, and we can get you set up with a patch. The money that we raise will be going to the Ronald McDonald House to hopefully selling these. These are a limited time offer because we will actually be redesigning our color scheme for next year. So we'll sell these until they sell out, and then next year hopefully we'll have our new patch to design. So otherwise, I'd like to thank you all today. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I want a patch. Don't hustle off too quickly tonight. I'll figure out how to get you $10 for the patch. Okay, we're on to staff reports now. So first up is our San Bernardino Valley College interim president, Dr. Fontanilla.
Thank you, Madam Chair, trustees, chancellor, all the members of the cabinet, and everyone in the audience who's leaving. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the campus community, all of the students, staff, faculty, and administrators for all the hard work that is happening at Valley. We're really busy over there, and the campus is buzzing. We can feel it. Minute Students Week, we were looking at the data today, and I asked for them to pull some data for us. Right now, this morning, our data showed that we have 201 undocumented students, 68% female, 31% males. Our average age of our students is 26 years old. 97% of those undocumented students are Hispanic, Latinx, and 3% identify themselves as other. We also acknowledge History Month, and if I could just take a minute to say, when I think of this month, I think of my own father who left the Philippines and was recruited in the United States Army to serve in World War II. He was a Bronze Star recipient and earned his citizenship to the United States. We will always be proud of his contributions to the United States Army, and I'm pleased to share that short recognition with you. On Monday of this week, we had an outstanding event at the college. We had the President's Circle Luncheon, and thank all of you who were able to attend. Thank you, Chancellor, for your presentation there and your update. And I'd like to thank the foundation staff and marketing facilities and the culinary program for helping to host it. The culinary program made prime rib and mashed potatoes for our guests, and they were very pleased about such a wonderful lunch. And one of our guests was so pleased with the presentations from the students, he approached one of the students and offered to continue his support in his education. So that just goes to show you what a wonderful luncheon like that can do for our students. And finally, in keeping in the theme with taking flight and soaring with our Partners for Student Success, and in support of your goal number 3, be a leader and partner in addressing regional issues, we would like to thank our partners, SoCal Edison, who visited us on Monday also and awarded us with a $25,000 grant to support limited income students who are pursuing their degrees in STEM. And this will be a $1,000 scholarship to 25 students. So we were very pleased to receive that. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next up, Dr. Horan from Crafton Hills College.
All right, good evening. I said 4, Dr. Fontanella, but I have 5 items now. I want to talk about goal number 1 first. We have it's goal number 1 and goal number 4. It's a combination. Our college foundation has raised funds to support student internships, and we have a student, Katerina Vion, who is now serving as a student intern in the city manager's office for the city of Redlands, and we are currently working on similar placements for the city of Yucaipa and the cities of Calamasa. We're very excited about those opportunities for our students. I really want to acknowledge one of our full-time faculty, Sandra Ruiz, for 2 items tonight, because she is doing absolutely stellar work. She is, related to goal number 3, is developed a partnership, and I don't know that I'm gonna do justice to it, but it's an international collegiate collaborative online international learning. She is partnered with a university in Mexico with her Computer Science 120 class, and they are jointly live doing programming together across our borders online. And it's a wonderful project. The short name for it is COIL, and that she initiated this planning about 18 months ago, and it's taken that long to get the partner set up. She's just doing amazing work. Additionally, she has enrolled students from Crafton Hills College for the first time in the International Collegiate Programming Contest. This is a collegiate programming contest for 2-year and 4-year students. They get teams of 3 go, and they get 5 hours to write code, test code, to solve a specific problem. And our students will be entering that on October 28th. So we're very excited to see how they do in this upcoming contest. I also want to recognize Dr. Ivan Pena. He's our Dean of Counseling. He has been selected by Growing Inland Achievement to receive a 2023 Toward a Shared Vision Innovation Award. And we're very excited to celebrate him next week at the Growing Inland Achievement workshop. He's just doing tremendous work. It's not just Ivan, it's the entire areas he works with in counseling and all of our support programs. But he will be representing the college at that. And also, we were honored to be notified by the Campaign for College Opportunity that Crafton Hills College is a 2023 Equity Champion of Higher Education, specifically for equity for Black African American students achieving associate degree. Our Black and African American students are, this is the criteria, achieving at least 65% earning of associate degrees and performing at equal or greater performance than our general student body. So that means for associate degrees, we have no disproportional impact for African American students.
Your turn is complete.
And just I'm really disappointed the students left because I would like to point out that Books Plus is still going through spring 24, in case there was a misunderstanding around that, and that our very innovative Executive Vice Chancellor, Jose Torres, is not here this evening, has been doing tremendous work in finding creative funding sources for that program.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, Executive Vice Chancellor isn't here, so we'll go to Vice Chancellor of Human Resources and Police Services, Christina Hannon.
Good evening. I have a quick update. I think Karen is still here. Yeah, okay. So I just wanted to in our president, our chancellor's cabinet, we will be hosting a all-day classified professional day in March, where we will release all of our classified professionals, and they will be able to participate off-site. And I just wanted to let you know that we stand behind our classified professionals, and we see the importance of being able to close and get away and work on our professional development. And so I just wanted to say thank you for your collaboration, Karen and John Feist, and we look forward to working with you on doing our first because it's the first of many classified full-day retreats for our district. Thank you.
Trustee Reyes? Is your mic on?
Again, I think that a lot of times throughout the state of California, they take things for granted as to the fine work that your office does. In your opinion, just how many other college districts are doing what you're doing in terms of, we have reports that are being given from the CSEA and all that, and from what we see, you're doing an outstanding job. And for them to go and get some additional training to be more professional, I think it's extremely important. What other districts are doing that so that people can see what we're doing and being effective? Because, I don't like to have people come over and give us a report and it's all kind of negative or something, when in reality, because I know I go to visit other districts and they're not doing what we're doing. So our team does a good job, and I will continue to do that, to say that to any group of individuals that come over. They really should have stayed here, like our president from Crafton Hills said. They need to see what they're doing in the books and all of that. A lot of positive things. So I want to compliment you. So what other district is doing what we're doing? It may be hard to do the research, but
Speak to is in my work, I've actually been invited on multiple PRT visits where I do visit other community college districts. And the lens that I am coming from is a human resources lens, which is focused on classified professional development and how we engage our classified. And so I've been on the 3 different visits, and in 2 of the visits, neither of the campuses or college districts had even, they were unable to have those conversations. And so I use my experiences as a former classified professional and also my experiences here. I also have to give credit to our faculty because our faculty on both campuses, our faculty professional development coordinators, they work very closely with my office along with our classified professionals on making sure our entire workforce is trained, is given the same opportunities. And so that level of collaboration as well is unique, but it's something that I'm sharing with others and making sure that SBCCD is recognized for how we see our professional training, our professional development opportunities. And our classified professionals know that they can come here and they can get the training and support that they need to be their best.
Continue to do a good job. We appreciate all the hard work and the leadership that you take. I've heard very good things throughout the state of people come here and they're learning from us. I just don't understand how other groups of individuals within our campus don't understand that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So next up is Dr. Ornelas, our Vice Chancellor of Educational and Student Support Services.
Thank you. I just want to give a quick update and apology if I was not clear when I gave my presentation today on the dual enrollment. I do want to emphasize the work that we do with our dual faculty, staff, and administration. Throughout the presentation, I guess I may have assumed that that there was recognition of that. Our dual enrollment summit, we have faculty participating at the table. That includes counselors and instructional faculty. We also have our counselors leading the workshops for our dual enrollment students. And lastly, our faculty are teaching the courses. So my apologies for not making that clear. And this is a collective effort, and we were at where we are at today if it wasn't for the collective effort of the colleges and the leadership of the campuses that are driving our dual enrollment programs. Thank you.
So next up are our information items. So if there are there any questions or anything for discussion in the information items? Okay. Hearing none, then we will get ready to go into our closed session. So we have a few items there. So first is conference with labor negotiators, Government Code 54957. Next is conference with labor negotiator, Government Code 54957.6. Next is public employee discipline, dismissal, release, non-employment, Government Code 54957. There are 2 cases there. And then conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision D, 2, and E of Government Code Section 54956.9, 1 case there. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code 54956.9E3 or D1, 3 cases, workers' compensation claim, number 599150 and number 525007, sorry. So in high school, I took radio broadcasting, and the only thing that I had trouble with were numbers, and they always had me do the weather so that I could practice reading numbers. Clearly, it didn't work. Finally, we have Public Employee Performance Evaluation, Government Code 54957B1, Chancellor. I think that is it. Do we have any public comments for closed session? Okay, so the time is 6:05, and with that, we will convene into closed session now. Thank you. Okay. So the time is 6:35, and I will reconvene the public meeting. So the report of action in closed session includes on October 19th, 2023, present Trustee Longville, Trustee Reyes, and Trustee Houston, and trustees absent, Trustee Vercel, Trustee Williams, and Trustee Gonzalez, took action to not reemploy, I'm reading this, the Social Science Division Dean, San Bernardino Valley College for the 2024-2025 academic year, and to send notice to management employee number 505. Additionally, on October 19th, 2023, the board unanimously by a majority vote of the members present, and the 4 members present were Harrison, Longville, Reyes, and Houston, and members absent were Vercel, Williams, and Gonzalez, took action to approve settlement of workers' comp claim 525007 with employee number 28284. And with that, the next meeting of the board, our next 9th at 4 p.m. at this location, the San Bernardino Community College District Boardroom, 550 East Hospitality Lane, Suite 200, San Bernardino. With that, the time is 6:37, and without objection, we are adjourned.